Hey, Rainy Joe here, and this is 1001 Reviews, a series where I plan on reviewing every single album from the 1001 Albums Listened to Before You Died book. And today we are looking at AC/DC's 1979 album, Highway to Hell. Highway to Hell was... Oh, sorry, I like this, I don't know if I can just, I'll throw it up on the screen. I like this alternate cover, compared to the one that's on Spotify. But anyway, Highway to Hell was released in 1979 underneath the Albert Productions label, produced by Robert John Lang with art direction from Bob Deffern, nationality Australia and the UK, as well as a running time of 41 minutes and 48 seconds. Alright, before we get into things, let's just get the obvious out of the way. I feel like most music fanatics like myself will say that AC/DC has a tendency to all sound very much the same. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because I do think they have written some incredible, amazing bangers, such as Highway to Hell, which is the opener here. And, you can't hate on it too much. It's just that a lot of the music does sound a bit too similar, even when they change from Bon Scott to Brian Johnson, after Bon Scott's passing, which is just shortly after this album, actually. Even when they switched singers, they sound very similar, which in some sense is a good thing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You know what they say. But I gotta say, a little caveat here is that they do tend to sound a little bit too similar. 41 minutes long, 10 songs. Let's not waste too much more time with the opening track, Highway to Hell. Let's just kick it off. Iconic riff right at the start. His accent really comes in quite a bit in his singing, which I think adds a lot of character. I know some people might not like his voice, but here it is. Here's that iconic chorus coming in. It's just a classic rock sound. Like, this is like the definition of classic rock, I would say. I love the guitar riff. It's so iconic. The drumming's pretty simple, but it works. It's also just great party music, I don't remember that part. That was beautiful. That guitar kind of fretting there. That part's iconic. Stripping the music back while his voice comes in. I gotta say, wow. 1 billion streams, by the way, on Spotify for this song. And you could see why. This is a great, incredible classic rock song. I think it is iconic. I think it is maybe AC/DC's best, one of their best. And, you really take their style and sound, concentrate it into just 3.5 minutes. That's Highway to Hell. It is a fantastic track. I honestly forgot how great this song was until I just heard it again. It is really the definition of a perfect rock song, I would say. A perfect hard rock, classic rock song. So Highway to Hell, it gets a 10. I really do think it's that good. Next, we've got Girls Got Rhythm. I'm not too familiar with this one, nor am I familiar, I think, with the rest. But maybe once I hear it, I'll go, oh yeah, I know this one. But let's just jump right into it. Girls Got Rhythm. A lot of good riffs from AC/DC. Iconic riffs. Obviously with, classic rock songs and even rock songs today, but more so back in the 70s and 80s, a lot of it was about girls, just simple as can be. Might seem a little dated to a lot of people nowadays, but personally, I still think there's some great songs that dive into girls and cars, So... I like that. The drumming is pretty consistent throughout, as the same thing here. If you're a drummer, you might get bored of this track. Good backup vocals too on a lot of ACD songs. Great guitar work. Angus Young on the guitar, I believe. Great guitarist, in my opinion. Alright, Girls Got Rhythm. You know, it's got a great riff to it. The guitar playing by Angus Scott here is incredible. That solo that comes in, fantastic. I think AC/DC, when it comes to instrumentation, even though some people might find it a bit too repetitive, I do think they got some incredible riffs. Girls Got Rhythm, though, I liked it. I didn't dislike it. I had a fun time. Again, very fun band. Hard to not, at least kind of just like jam with what they're doing. I'm going to give that one an 8. Next, we got Walk All Over You. 5 minutes long. Like this slow build-up. This slow build-up is making me wish AC/DC did like a stoner metal album. Fantastic. I've never heard this song, but it's got that predictable feeling to it, which isn't always bad. It's what I want. Picking up the speed a lot. Ooh. I like that chorus. That backup singing is very nice. Another pretty simple song about girls and sex. Pretty standard stuff from the 70s and 80s. Man. There it is. That guitar solo coming in. Their guitar solos are like electric, you know? Woo! Wow. I'm gonna walk all over you. Explosive ending. Overall, really liked that track. Once again, I think what I like about AC/DC is their sound and their energy is quite infectious, which is an amazing thing to have in a band and not something every band can do. AC/DC does it quite well with almost every song. They are just fantastic in bringing a certain level of energy. I'm going to give that one a 7.5. Next, we've got Touch Too Much. By the sounds of it, another song dealing with the same subject matter, Girls, girls, girls. Let's just jump into it. Okay. I do find this one to be a touch too much. That's what I should say. I find this one to be a little bit too derivative of what they're already doing. So maybe their sound does get a little grating. Hopefully their energy comes back. But this one I'm not feeling as much personally. But there's those iconic guitar work once again. Kind of repetitive as well. Just instrumentally and vocally and everything. It's just kind of too much, too similar throughout this entire thing. Could have been like 3 minutes, honestly. Alright. Touch Too Much is so far my least favorite. I'm going to give that one a 6. I just feel like it becomes a bit too repetitive pretty quickly, I would say. Next we got Beating Around the Bush. 5th track, halfway through. It's all in the right channel here. Oh, I really like that. Could probably sample that. There's that just not iconic, but a fantastic sort of guitar riff there. Another clear song about sex, girls, and this girl beating around the bush. I think it might be a double entendre there, and it has to do with her infidelity. And she's not loyal to just Bon Scott, I guess. I love that part. Ooh, really strong guitar coming again. Another one of their explosive endings. AC/DC staple. Oh, coming back around. They tend to do that a lot in a lot of their songs. And I know some artists did it before AC/DC, but I feel like they're the ones that really put it on the map. And it's something that you see a lot of artists still do. which I think kind of shows AC/DC's influence carrying on to the modern day. A lot of, especially noise rock bands, just really ramp up that level of noise. Something like Tropical Fuckstorm, for example, which, very different genre-wise, but I still think the influence of AC/DC sort of carried on and spread into different subgenres, such as that. But I'm giving Beating Around the Bush a 6.5. Again, not as good as the first 3 tracks, but still not terrible. Next, we've got Shot Down in Flames, 21 million streams. Let's go. One could argue it's a concept album about women, but kind of all the same theme. Very loose term, concept album, though. He just keeps getting rejected at every turn by every woman. Not enough rock stars talk about being declined and shut down. God, that guitar is so dirty. I love it. The way it slides up and down. That outro was something. I'm gonna give that one a 6 as well. I do think this is what I mean by, their sound becomes a bit too repetitive in a sense. I don't know if I can handle a full album from them in one sitting all the time. So, they're not album people. They're singles people, and that's okay. But I'm gonna give that one a 6. No, 6.5. I still think it's got its moments. 7. Get It Hot. Only 8 million streams. It's the lowest on the album. I wonder if there's a reason why. It's got 2.5 minutes on it. Let's just jump into it. It's the shortest track, and it is the least amount of streams. I love soul music. I wish we'd be playing soul. The drumming for this band is pretty basic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Look at the Beatles. Ringo's drumming is fairly repetitive or fairly basic, and that's not always bad. Sometimes that's just what the song needs. No hate to Ringo, by the way. Great drummer, in my opinion. I really like that part that I found out. Simple, but it's infectious. And there's another guitar solo. Alright. Get It Hot. Pretty simple. It's short. It's sweet. I don't have anything too negative to say about it. I actually thought it was better than some of the other songs I've heard here. And it's just direct. It's right to your veins. Hard rock, classic rock. More of the same, but I would say better than some of the others here. So I'm going to give that one a 7, personally. Next we got If You Want Blood, You've Got It. 69 million streams. Almost 70 million streams. Impressive. Second highest on here. I might be familiar with it. So far it's not ringing any bells. The drumming sounds very rough. I'm not sure if that's intentional, but like the recording of it sounds like a little distorted. Yeah, it's just that section. That must have been intentional. I don't know this one. It's still good though. So far. I mean, it's a bit derivative, but still. That emphasis on blood is a nice touch. It's a smart play there. I do red for blood. We're already on red. That's embarrassing. Ooh. He's a great vocalist. I haven't talked enough about his vocals, but between him and Brian Johnson, I don't know. They're very similar, but Bon Scott's got a lot of character. He's got a lot of power in his voice. Alright. A fade out. Common thing of the 70s. Here's what I'll say about that one. I liked it. I thought it had some great moments. I think Bon Scott's voice here is really the standout element of the track, at least to me, because, I've heard it said that Bon Scott and Brian Johnson, the two lead singers of AC/DC, Brian Johnson being a more technically impressive singer, whereas some people would argue Bon Scott, although on a technical level may not be the best singer, is a bit more interesting personality-wise with what he does with his voice. And personally, I think that can make or break a singer. I think a singer, at the end of the day, It's about how they use their voice. Technical is not always better. Bon Scott's voice is great personality-wise, I'd say. A lot of power. I'd give that one a 7.5. Next, we've got the 9th song, Love Hungry Man. Probably going to be about how much this man loves, making love. Personally, I was wishing it would be about Hungry Man, the TV dinners, because I do love a good Hungry Man once in a while. You know what I'm saying? You throw that thing in the microwave, cook it up, zap it. Sometimes that just hits the spot. But highly doubt that's what it's about. Maybe one day we'll get a song about Hungry Man the way we deserve. Love Hungry Man. Let's go. I love these slower openings they do once in a while. Just adds a lot more build up. Ooh, that was nice. The drumming on this to me is a lot more interesting than what I've heard so far. I really like the bass there. The bass on this track seems to be a bit more interesting, which I wish more bands would take advantage of the bass. That's nice. Doom 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 doom. That's a good bass line, if I've ever heard one. Oh, this guitar riff too is really great. So far, this track has amazing bass line, great guitar riff, and the drums I think are a little bit more interesting than what I've heard so far. So this is really pulling a lot together in my opinion. Shame it has 16 million streams compared to the others. A lot of power in these drums. Oh, that bass line. Amazing. That's fantastic. I'm going to give that one a 8.5. I think there is a lot to unpack in that album. Bass line, drumming, vocals, guitar work, all of it here really does come together quite strong. Really the weakest thing here might be the vocals, which, like I said, I mean, that's it really shows his personality, and I think on a technical level may not be the best, but on a personality-wise level and the power that he brings is still quite strong. The bass line here, though, and the drumming really stand out a lot to me, especially the bass line. It really just jumped out like that to me. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think it's fantastic. Much slower start. Good drumming. Pretty steady. A disturbing track about sneaking into your girlfriend's room. Little disturbing and maybe dated in this day and age. Just want to mention that Angus Young has said that the song's more about nature, more about animals, I guess, prowling into his room when he opens the window because it's so hot at night in Australia. Whether or not that's what the song's actually about, or if that's just them trying to cover up this somewhat disturbing track, who knows, who's to say. But I do like this somewhat innocent idea behind it. Even if it is a disturbing message, I don't know if I hate that. I mean, you can have a bad protagonist. I mean, it does seem like it could just be about an animal, that's the thing. Amazing guitar work here. Shredding on the guitar to finish off this album. I like this one. It's slower. It's not as, like, I guess, as wild as some of the other tracks here, but what's that? Is that gibberish at the end there? Oh, it translates to shit goodbye. Ending off Bon Scott's final album. Kind of sad way to end the album in his career, but you know, a nice little goodbye from him. That's a good track though. I would say I like that one quite a bit. If you take the idea that Angus Young said where it's about just an animal sneaking into your room through an open window, as silly as that may be, it's kind of a fun little cute song paired well with some classic hard rock. I mean, I like that one. It's switching up the formula from what we've heard so far about just girls, 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 you know? I'm going to give that one a 8. I liked it quite a bit. And that pretty much does it for the listening portion of the album. Here's my final thoughts. Much of this album is about, girls, like I said, and sex, and a lot of what AC/DC and a lot of hard rock bands back then were talking about, which in some ways makes it a bit one note and surface level, but instrumentally and just overall the tone and atmosphere of this album is quite infectious. It is really well put together and really showcases a lot of the talents of the band on specific tracks, something like Love Hungry Man, where the bass line really comes through, or If You Want Blood, You've Got It, or Highway to Hell. I think Bon Scott's vocals are the highlight. Stuff like that really do showcase what makes AC/DC so great, and that is their versatility within the band and how talented each member kind of is. Again, I do think a lot of people might hear it and think, oh, this is just boring dad rock, but there is more to it than that, and there's a reason it dominated for so long, and it's because it is, at the end of the day, some just fun, great tunes. So overall, I enjoyed most of this album. There wasn't anything here I disliked. In fact, I would say the weakest song, Touch Too Much, still did not hate it. Did not hate the track. I didn't hate anything here. All right. Alright, so to close things out, the soft rating for this album comes to a 7.6 out of 10. But I'm going to harden that rating up to an 8. I think this is a fantastic album through and through for the most part, and it really is like the definition of hard classic rock. And really, because of that, because there's so much, Highway to Hell being such an iconic track, and AC/DC, I feel like being such an important part in music history, even if you don't necessarily like their music, it is a must listen. So that makes this an essential album. They do have 2 albums within this book, so maybe this one I'll switch around over time, and maybe I'll prefer their other album that's in here. But for now, Highway to Hell is an essential listen. Hard rating 8, soft rating 7.6. And that pretty much does it for this video. Let's see what the next album we're listening to is in the book. And like last time with the last video, like I said, I am now calling random people that I know and asking for a number, and then I'm hanging up on them without context. So let's just call my mom. Hey, can you pick a random number between?
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you pick a random number between 1 and 1001?
1 in 1001?
Yeah, pick a random number.
748.
748?
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Alright, 748 is going to be the album Scan the Fall. Or no, The Informant Scan by The Fall. Sorry. I've heard of The Fall. I've heard they're quite good, so I'm excited to hear this. I've wanted to listen to some of their music for a while, so I guess we're going to listen to that next. Anyways, that pretty much does it for this video. If you liked the video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along listening to every album from the 1001 Albums Listened to Before You Die book. And as always, my name is Randy Joe, and I'm signing off.